Have you ever gotten halfway through a project and thought, what's happening? No one's on the same page. It feels like you're working in silos and everyone is just doing their own thing. Or maybe you've inherited a project. You're stepping into something that's half-baked. And that's a recipe for disaster. Well, the truth is, project failures happen even before you start. That's because you're missing a few of the key critical foundational documents. In this video, we are going to break down the 3 essential documents you need to kick off any project the right way. So the very first document you need is the project charter. Do not start on a project without this. This document is a formal authorization and permission slip to kick off your project. It's a high-level agreement that defines the project's goals, purpose, objectives, key stakeholders, high-level scope, and budget. A signed project charter gives you, the project manager, the authority to use the company's resources and sets the stage for everything that is about to come. It is the single most important document you'll create at the start of any project. Now, if you are in a project without one, stop and get this done. It's so important because it serves as the project's high-level guiding document, prevents misalignment, it keeps everyone focused, it also ensures the stakeholders are all on the same page. It prevents the team from wasting time, money, effort on a project that doesn't have a clear purpose or is not properly approved. So that's another crucial bit. It has to be approved. Usually it is the project sponsor that signs it off, the person who is bankrolling the project. And this is also a document so that they understand what they're getting for their money as well. Sometimes it can feel intimidating to create a project charter, but as a PM, it's not only on you, it's a collaborative effort. It should be concise and probably a 2-pager if possible, and it should include the following: project purpose, the why are we doing this? Measurable objectives, so what does success look like? Make sure to use SMART goals to articulate this. High-level scope and deliverable. What are the major items that we're going to be producing? High-level risks. What are the big things that can go wrong? Assumptions and constraints. What do we believe to be true? And what are our limitations? And of course, key stakeholders. Who are the main people involved or impacted in this project? So let's just say our project was a trip. The project charter is an agreement you make with everyone before you book the trip. It answers questions like, where are we going? Who's going? What's the budget? This gets everyone aligned on the destination and the reason for the journey even before you pack a single bag. Once you draft this document, make sure you give an opportunity for those involved to review, provide any feedback or commentary, and then you can present it together in a team meeting to the project sponsor and get that sign off. So everyone is aligned and on the same page. Once you have this, you are good to go. The second important document we have on this list is the stakeholder mapping. Now, we already included a list of stakeholders in the project charter, but this is a little different. The stakeholder mapping is a process of identifying all the stakeholders that has an interest or is impacted by your project, then also analyzing their importance and influence. So think of it as a social network of your project, the who's who. The result of this will be producing a stakeholder register. This is a complete list of those stakeholders identifying who they are, their impact, and contribution. The value of this exercise, while it seems daunting, is huge. It forces you to think beyond just your core team, like the project team, and it identifies all the people who could either help or hinder your project. A thorough understanding of who your stakeholders are helps you proactively manage the communications, manage the message, build buy-in, and mitigate any risk. There are 2 things when we're doing the stakeholder mapping, and that's mapping out level of interest and their level of influence. So we put this on a simple grid system. A stakeholder who is in the high interest, high influence category, you got to manage these people closely. They are your key collaborators and your key decision makers. Someone who has high influence but low interest, keep these people satisfied. Don't overwhelm them, but make sure their needs are met to prevent them from becoming a source of resistance. Because they don't really care about your project, they have the power to exert some influence, whether it's good or bad. The next category is low influence, high interest. Keep these people informed, just an FYI. They can be valuable allies and a great source of feedback. And the last category we have is low influence, low interest. Just monitor them. They are there in the background, but don't waste valuable time and energy or resources on them. By going through this stakeholder mapping exercise, you're creating a strategic plan that ensures you're engaging with the right people at the right time and in the right way. The stakeholder register is the guest list and then some. Now, back to our trip analogy. It's not just the people who are going on the trip with you, but also the person who is watering your plants while you're gone, the boss who needs to approve your time off, the family members who need a postcard or a souvenir. This makes sure that you're keeping everyone who is affected informed, even if they're not directly part of the journey. And finally, the last document you need is the RACI Matrix or RACI chart. This is one of the most powerful tools in your toolkit. In fact, it saved me plenty of times from starting a project or parachuting into a project. This is something that really gets people aligned back on track if you're in a bind. So it's good to do this early. RACI stands for responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. This document tells you exactly who does what, and it assigns roles and responsibility to every task on your project. This eliminates confusion and ensures that every task has an owner. By clearly defining the roles, you prevent the common problem of people thinking someone else is doing something when they should be doing it, and vice versa. And that sometimes leads to a task being left behind or not getting done at all. The value of the RACI is the clarity and the accountability. It forces you and your team to stop assuming the roles and start defining them. And again, this is a collaborative effort. It's something that you as a PM would probably set up and work together with the project team to assign names and the tasks so that everyone is in agreement and aligned. Get everyone to sign off on this because there will be names assigned to those tasks. So if we break it down, a RACI chart is pretty straightforward. You'll have tasks on one side and RACI across the top. And under the R is who's responsible. This is the person who does the work. They can be multiple people who are responsible for a task, but it's important to keep this group small. For the tasks in the accountable section, this is the person who's ultimately accountable for the task being completed correctly. Think of them as the person who needs to sign off for the work that's done. So while you can have multiple people doing the work, usually only one person can be accountable for that work. C is for consulted. These are people who need to be consulted before a decision is made or before work begins. And lastly, we have informed. These are people who need to be informed of the progress or completion of a task. They don't need to be consulted beforehand. So as an example, if you are thinking about starting something, you tell the people in the consulted area, hey, we're going to do this, get any feedback before you begin. Whereas the people who are in the informed column, you just give them an FYI when it's completed or as and when they need to know. I love the RACI because it prevents any finger pointing and any blame. Every task has a clear owner from start to finish. Back to our trip analogy, the RACI chart is a checklist that tells you exactly who is doing what to get the trip started. This document tells you who is responsible for packing the car, who's accountable for making sure the packing list is complete, who needs to be consulted on what snacks to buy, and who needs to be informed on when you finally hit the road. This ensures nothing is forgotten and everyone knows their part. So there you have it. These are the 3 most critical documents you need to ensure you kick off a project successfully and also to maintain one while it's running. Always revisit these anytime you get into a situation. These are your non-negotiables: the project charter, the stakeholder mapping, and the RACI Matrix. By having these documents, you set a solid foundation, saving you a massive amount of headaches and frustration down the line. I'd love to hear any experience you have with these documents and how they've helped you in your projects. Feel free to leave a comment below and let me know. And as always, if you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel for more tips on building the career you want and the life you love. I'll see you in the next one.